Antonio starts right now.
Hey there, good morning. It is Wednesday, July 3rd. We finally made it to the middle of the week.
I know, and then a lot of people will be off tomorrow for July 4th, but already today starting off humid and
Oh
warm.
my gosh, yeah. When I stepped outside the car, it was very hot out there.
Yes.
And it's all probably because it's summer, right? Justin, what's happening? What are you tracking over there?
Yesterday, guys, 102 is what we ended up with. So it was a hot day yesterday. I think we'll be right back in that range again today. We have 10 days now this year where we've hit 100 or above if you're keeping tally at home. So we're a little bit behind last year's pace, which is good, where we had at this point in the year 13. But still not great. We're going to have several days here where I think we probably get close to 100. Here's the forecast for this afternoon. 100, the high. Feels like number will be around 103, I think, during peak heating. There's enough humidity for that and mostly sunny skies. But now we got to talk about Beryl. That's the big story as we go forward. Right now, a Category 4 storm. Winds are at 145 miles per hour. This moves by Jamaica today. Probably weakens to Cat 3, weakens even a little bit further as it moves towards Cancun and Cozumel as a Cat 2. Wind's still at 100 miles per hour. This is still nothing to sneeze at, but we're going to get some wind shear, so that helps a little bit to weaken the system. It crosses over land, weakens further, moves into the Gulf by this weekend. Then, and this is kind of the update, I'm not surprised by this, Hurricane Center thinks this could re-strengthen into a hurricane because waters are warm there in the Gulf of Mexico. And then from there, where does it go? It could be anywhere from Veracruz, Mexico, to Port Lavaca, Texas. But I would say those along the southern Texas coast need to keep very close watch on this. And it could have an impact on our forecast here in San Antonio. We're going to talk all about it and what it means going forward for us here in just a little bit. But now let's go over to RJ, checking on the roads. Any big issues this morning?
All right, Justin, just keeping an eye on some overnight construction. Of course, a lot of people are going to be hitting the roads today over the next couple of days as they get set for their 4th of July plans. But right now, things looking pretty good. If you're about to step outside, 37 Jones Avenue right there, southeast of downtown, 37 Southeast Military. Traffic moving along pretty smooth there as well. Did notice an overnight construction project that I hadn't seen over the past couple of days. This is going to be right there northwest of downtown, so I-10 at Woodlawn Avenue, and you do see an emergency vehicle out there. It looks like they're still doing some work there on the eastbound lanes now of I-10 as they continue all that bridge joint work. And also, and again, remember, they're doing everything on the upper level. Looks like this is on the lower level of I-10 East right there at Woodlawn, so something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on. Speaking of keeping an eye on this, that's where we find our photojournalist Alex Gomez in our drive cam this morning. Alex, how are things looking out there?
Well, it could be getting better, RJ. I'm looking at the same area that you are. I-10 eastbound lower level right at Woodlawn. It looks like they might be wrapping up this area, though. Check this out. You can see we've got movement now. They're picking up the barrels and the signs, so that right lane on I-10 eastbound is going to be reopening pretty soon now, RJ.
All right. Yes. Good update there from Alex. As again, this is something we kind of noticed over the past 24 hours. They're doing all that work right there downtown at the Y. Citywide view here. It looks like they've started to clear things out. 35 southbound in between Benton City Road and the Fisher Road area for our drivers out there in the Von Army Somerset area. And northeast side right now, 35 still seems to be some problems out there. So we will continue to monitor that as we make our way through your Wednesday morning. It's hump day, y'all. Yes.
You're feeling it, right? All right, new this morning, San Antonio police say a 17-year-old is dead following a shooting that happened just about 2 hours ago. It happened around 4 a.m. near the 1600 block of Santa Ana Street. That's not far from I-10. Police say neighbors reported hearing gunshots, and then when they went outside, they found the 17-year-old on the ground in the middle of an intersection. So far, no suspect information has been released.
And this morning, San Antonio police say a shooting at an apartment complex left one man dead and another in critical condition. That shooting happened just after 8 p.m. last night in the 23,900 block of Interstate 10. That is towards the northwest side. Now, after entering an apartment, police say a man who they believe to be the instigator was found dead on the floor. The other man was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Now, the ages and the relationships of the two men and the cause of the shooting are still not known at this time.
Nearly 7 years after the Sutherland Springs shooting that killed 26 people, the site of that shooting was scheduled for demolition. But as John Paul Barajas shows us, a temporary restraining order has put those plans on hold.
not here to keep the building or destroy the building. We're simply doing this because we want the survivors to have their opinions.
The white former sanctuary has stood as a memorial to those lost, but also a painful reminder of what happened that Sunday morning in Sutherland Springs. The dispute over the vote to tear it down is why the building will stand for a while longer. Plans to demolish the building on hold due to a temporary restraining order.
Their lawyer is already aware.
So they're aware of the situation.
Mm-hmm. The lawyer already called my lawyer.
Do you know what that discussion was like or what was said?
No.
But as far as you know right now, everything is put on pause.
It's supposed to be.
Amber Holder and her daughter Amy Crowder have filed a lawsuit against the church. In August 2021, the congregation voted 66-33 to tear down the sanctuary turned memorial building.
Some of the people here didn't even know that this church existed before the shooting, and they all got their say. And I don't think it's their opinions that necessarily matter. I think it's the survivors and the victims' families.
Crowder and Holder say many survivors and victims' families are no longer with the church and believe some of their memberships were removed, so they did not have a say in the matter. Holder says some of those directly impacted in the shooting have reached out to her.
Anybody that has been in contact with me, I have not heard anybody that's against it. There is one person that has been publicly outraged by what I'm doing that is a survivor, and he's against it because he nearly died here that day. And in his words, I was shot to hell. I understand.
Monday, KSAT obtained an email that was sent out by the church pastor that says the final days to visit the memorial were Monday and Tuesday because of plans to demolish the building, but a demolished day was not listed.
I was furious. It's a holiday weekend, and you're giving them a 3-hour window for each day. That's not right.
That was John Paul Barajas reporting. A hearing on the restraining order is scheduled for July 15th.
Well, all airports in Jamaica are shut down this morning ahead of Hurricane Beryl's arrival. The storm is expected to bring strong winds and an 8-foot storm surge. Officials are warning people in flood-prone areas to prepare to evacuate. Beryl is expected to weaken in the Gulf with some models taking it over southern Texas next week. And this morning we want to know, do you have plans to visit the Texas coast this holiday weekend? So you can vote in our poll on ksat.com/poll, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. You can see it off to the side and let us know where you're heading.
Just 4 months to go on the race for the White House. Today, President Joe Biden is expected to visit with Democratic governors in another attempt to course correct after last week's debate.
Well, however, some Texas lawmakers, including Senator Lloyd Doggett in Austin, are still being critical of the president this morning.
The president did not look good, did not refute the many lies of President Trump. I salute President Biden. I just feel that it's time for him to step aside. He delivered us from Trump then. He could be delivering us to Trump this year if we have more of what happened last Thursday.
Meanwhile, former Mayor Julian Castro posted on X shortly last night praising the president's accomplishments, but calling for him to withdraw from the race. Mayor Ron Nirenberg also posted defending Biden and writing, "I'm proud to stand with Joe Biden, positive vision for the future."
And former President Donald Trump, meanwhile, is in the clear to focus on his campaign this summer with several of his legal challenges facing delays. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from Washington.
Today, President Joe Biden is set to meet with Democratic governors, rallying support after a week of setbacks. At a private fundraiser Tuesday, Biden again apologized for his debate performance, saying, "I wasn't very smart," adding he was in at least 15 time zones before the debate, and that, quote, "I didn't listen to my staff," joking that he almost fell asleep on stage. Biden returned to the U.S. 12 days before his showdown with former President Trump. During the debate, Trump spewed an arsenal of lies, including that everyone wanted Roe versus Wade overturned. But much of the fallout since has called Biden's fitness into question, including from within the Democratic Party.
I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition?
The White House is pushing back.
What I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would not see this as an episode.
And a new poll released by CNN shows Vice President Kamala Harris performing better against Trump than Biden. She is in the majority of Democratic leaders doubling down support.
Look, Joe Biden is our nominee. We beat Trump once, and we're going to beat him again.
Trump was set to be sentenced this month following his conviction on 34 felony counts in his hush money trial. But the judge now pushing sentencing back to September after the Supreme Court's landmark decision granting Trump broad immunity for official acts.
A president has to have immunity.
Judge Juan Merchan says he'll consider what, if any, impact the ruling has on the case. The growing pressure on President Biden in the almost week since the debate has turned his re-election campaign into a message of reassurance. Meetings with governors, congressional leaders, more press availability, including the first post-debate sit-down interview with ABC News on Friday, are all part of Biden's response. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, later this week, the president is talking to ABC News' George Stephanopoulos for his first interview since the debate night. Clips of the exclusive interview will air this Friday, July 5th on World News Tonight. The full interview will air on Sunday, July 7th on This Week Tonight with George Stephanopoulos.
Well, the San Antonio Spurs front office has kept close tabs on 6'6" guard Stephon Castle since he was in high school, so it had to feel very rewarding for both sides when Castle put ink to paper on his rookie deal. And the terms were not announced in San Antonio's findings. Throughout Castle's career, he's a perfect culture fit, a proud and effective defender with his shooting just waiting to be fully unlocked. So the coveted fourth pick impressed his summer league coach and teammates yesterday on day 2 of the Spurs summer league practices.
You know, he's a stoic person. He's even keeled. Any mistake he makes, he doesn't really show it too much. Any good play he makes, he doesn't show it too much. He's even keeled, which is a good thing.
He's aggressive, so and that's what we need. Like, we got a couple of aggressive guys in our team with the Spurs now. So we got Jeremy, we got me, we got KJ. Like, so we got warriors in the team.
And we're going to see more of Castle and Kasoko and beyond when summer league action begins in Sacramento on Saturday.
All right, time right now, 5:12, 79 degrees out there.
Well, if you think you are saving money by staying on Netflix's lowest tier plan, think again. Why Netflix is pulling the plug on its cheapest ad-free tier for existing subscribers.
And many retailers are offering sales for Independence Day, from outdoor furniture to barbecue staples. Up next, whether or not you should hold out for more savings from Amazon's upcoming Prime Day.
And let's look out there with live cam. Trust us, we're starting humid. Once you open that door, you will know. But 79, not too bad compared to the heat we'll feel later today. We're going to be checking in with Justin for the rest of the week when we come back. Welcome back. It's 5:16. Well, this July 4th holiday, many retailers are offering big savings, and ABC's Becky Worley has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, 4th of July sales. Save up to 70% off with Wayfair's 4th of July clearance. For the country's big day, many retailers offering sales, from outdoor furniture to barbecue staples.
We're already seeing sales on grills, gear for backyard entertaining.
And with Amazon Prime Day right around the corner.
Ooh, Prime Day is July 16th and the 17th?
Experts say this summer there are more big ways you can save.
We're seeing sales launched by retailers that are competing with Amazon, like Walmart and Target. There are just a lot of players in the space making a lot of noise.
Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the deals you should look out for to make your 4th of July celebration sparkle, and ways you can save all summer long. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
All right, time right now, 5:17, 79 degrees out there.
Well, up next, you'll soon find the nation's first ever smart highway, what that means for drivers.
And taking a live look outside, it looks like the area that we were keeping an eye on out there has been cleared. Traffic moving smoothly. Hopefully you're just staying home watching us, though, having a cup of coffee. Show us the picture. Tell us what you're doing this morning. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's 5:19, and we are looking forward to another hot day, but we'll talk to you in just a moment.
Yeah, guys, obviously not too many people on the roads right now. Maybe some people taking the day off today, obviously, as we get set for the 4th of July holiday. And you know what, Justin and I, before we started the show, we're talking about Stephon Castle. We just ran that story, the Spurs. And Justin, yes, actually his dad did play with Tim Duncan one season. My bad on that one, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I had heard that somewhere. Kind of interesting aside.
Yes, definitely. So in 1993, Stephon Castle's dad was part of the Wake Forest team when Tim Duncan was a freshman. And Stephon was asked, he was like, did your dad ever outplay Tim Duncan? And his dad was like, yeah, no, that wasn't happening. Tim Duncan was not getting outplayed by Stephon Castle. All right, so we're talking Spurs because there's just not much going on the roads right now. I-10 and Proband, south of downtown. We do see that traffic moving along pretty well both directions right there. 35, Loop 410, same situation out there as well. This is good to see because we've seen a lot of construction there. East side of town going to the northeast side, but it looks like traffic is smooth sailing in that area right there. All right, let's go ahead and check in with photojournalist Alex Gomez. He is back on the roads for us. I know, Alex, you were checking out a couple different things for us. So how are things going out there for our drivers?
Well, they're looking better for the northwest side, RJ. I was keeping an eye on that construction area on I-10 East on the lower level right at Woodlawn, and it is finished. They just wrapped up, so both lanes are opened up again, and there's no issues with delays because, like he said, hardly any traffic out here, so they wrapped up at a good time, RJ.
All right, that is good to see for anyone that's about to head out right now as we take a look at our citywide map. And again, things looking pretty good. Cleared out construction southwest side of town, far southwest side in between 410, 1604. And again, of course, we still are seeing some delays there on the northeast side. I'll check on that here in just a bit and see how things are looking. But of course, Justin, a lot of people are going to be hitting the roads over the next 48 hours or so, going up and down 35, east and west on I-10.
It's true. And I'm glad you brought up the Spurs, by the way, because you know what they're going to do this year? They're going to shock the world.
Hashtag shock the world.
Bringing it back. Feel good about it. You're right about the travel, though, RJ. There will be a lot of people traveling next couple days. No issues in Texas in the short term, but it's the long term that we're concerned with, right? Because we're tracking what's going on with Hurricane Beryl. I'll show you this morning. This hurricane does not look like it did yesterday. You remember it was an extremely strong-looking hurricane, well-defined. Not so much this morning. Still a strong hurricane, but you can see it's getting sheared now. So you got these upper level winds that shear this storm, and that can sometimes cause it to weaken. Still a Cat 4 though, and this is still a dangerous situation, especially for the folks in Jamaica. It's going to brush by Jamaica today as a Cat 4 storm, and then it will probably slowly weaken, Cat 3, maybe a Cat 2 once it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula. So folks in Cancun, Cozumel, gotta watch this. This will cross over the Yucatan and then weaken into a tropical storm probably, but the waters are warm. So I think this probably re-strengthens into a Category 1 hurricane. At least that's what the Hurricane Center thinks. I would even venture to say that it could get a little bit stronger. This is one of those situations where the waters are so warm, we've seen this happen before, where we can get rapid intensification. All of this to say, anyone along the southern Texas coast all the way down into Mexico, I'd say anywhere from Veracruz up to Port Lavaca, needs to keep very close watch on this, as it will likely take a more northerly turn, and if that happens, it will bring some moisture up into Texas. What does that mean for our forecast? Well, we would add in some rain chances, I think, early next week to account for that. Water temperatures, as I said, are plenty warm. We're talking 84 to 85 here, out in the middle of the Gulf. You get closer to the coast, you're talking water temperatures near 90. So there is no lack of fuel once this storm system gets back in the Gulf of Mexico to potentially re-strengthen. Here's the spaghetti plots, and you can see a lot of them do start to trend towards South Texas. We'll have a much better idea on this once we get to Friday, I think, and once it gets into the Gulf. So stick with us. We'll continue to watch this. Friday, Yucatan Peninsula. Saturday, tropical storm moves into the Gulf of Mexico. And then it's Sunday and Monday where we have that uncertain strength and path. Does it move to Mexico? Does it move to Texas? And does it bring us rain chances? Here's what we're thinking rain-wise. 20% Saturday, 20% Sunday. Then we're going to bump it up to 30% Monday and Tuesday. In the short term, quiet outside. 79, 76 in New Braunfels. It's going to be another hot afternoon. Heat indices close to 103 this afternoon. That's what it will feel like around 4 or 5 o'clock. Extended forecast. 100 Thursday, 99 Friday, so 4th of July. We'll talk about the fireworks forecast coming up, but it looks good. There are your rain chances, and we do bring temperatures down. We'll be watching the tropics very closely Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Netflix has begun removing its ad-free basic plan for current subscribers. ABC's Andrew Drimbert has the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Netflix is phasing out its cheapest ad-free plan. Existing subscribers of the $11.99 basic tier are starting to receive notifications to switch plans. So far, most of the affected subscribers appear to live in Canada or the UK. Next, Snapchat is offering new features to personalize accounts. One feature lets Snapchat Plus subscribers design a personalized house on a snap map. Another new feature gives users the ability to send snaps or post content as fast as a tenth of a second. Finally, Michigan is building America's first smart highway. A 3-mile stretch of Interstate 94 between Ann Arbor and Detroit will be equipped with special sensors and communication equipment. The technology will send information and alerts to newer vehicles. I wish they would apply this sort of technology to traffic circles. I feel like it could help in a roundabout way. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Trying.
He is. That was a really long way to get there, but okay.
E for effort. All right, time around 5:28 and 79 degrees for now.
A musical about one of the most controversial women in Latin American history is coming to life here in San Antonio, and you'll get a preview up next.
Hi, good morning. Welcome back. It is 5:31. We hope you had a good week so far. A lot of people may have taken the week off because of tomorrow.
Right. They're going to the lakes. They're going to the beach. I don't know. I'm staying here.
I'm about taking a week off. Well, I took last week off, so that.
And we're in the AC.
Yes.
So we're
I'd rather
okay.
be here.
We're okay. Stay cool. Yeah. You were on vacation. The weather was nice where you were. Was it anywhere close to that, Justin?
It was way better than this.
Okay.
Way better than this. 100 today, that's where we're headed. 102 yesterday is where we got, so I think we'll be in that range again today. Heat index values will be anywhere from 100 to 105. You look at the state, we're baking everywhere. So yes, if you're doing some traveling for July 4th, know that basically it's going to be a similar forecast to what we're seeing here in San Antonio, other than we may start to see some showers and storms develop up across North Texas. There's a frontal boundary up there, so there could be a little bit of rain to our north, but not here. So that brings us to the fireworks forecast. You're heading out to watch fireworks tomorrow night? Looks good. 95 at 8 o'clock, 90 at 10 p.m. By midnight, which we know in San Antonio there will still be fireworks going off at midnight. 85, mostly clear. That sunset's around 8:38. Very quickly, let's take another look at Beryl. There she is. Looking a little more ragged this morning, but still a strong Category 4 hurricane. And this is headed towards Jamaica. Of course, as we've been saying all morning, we're still getting some new model runs in here, and some of this activity could eventually make its way towards South Texas as we get into next week. We're going to dive into that forecast once again here in just a couple minutes, but let's go over to RJ now and see how things are moving on the roadways. As you said, probably still pretty quiet, right?
Yeah, things still looking pretty light out there, Justin. As you make your way outside right now, morning commute. Happy hump day to everyone out there who has to be out on the roads. Unfortunately, we are here as well. So things looking pretty good so far. I-10 De Zavala northwest side traffic moving along pretty smooth in that area. On the northwest side, I-10 Proban seen this camera a few times now south of the downtown area. East and westbound there, I-10 looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and check in with photojournalist Alex Gomez. He has been out and about northwest side earlier. So Alex, go ahead and give us an update on where you're at, my man.
Yeah, I'm still on the far northwest side right now, RJ. This is going to be on 1604 eastbound right near Lock Hill, Selma. And it already feels like holiday traffic. Very low traffic volume out here. So the roadways are looking pretty good. Dry roads this morning. That might change next week. So in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this ride this morning, RJ.
Yeah, we usually do not get to see roads this clear, especially this time of the morning with the amount of construction. That area there, basically Lock Hill, Selma, Blanco, Northwest Military, yeah, that's been very busy out there. So thanks to Alex for checking out the roadways for us. Real quick, want to give you an update on some gas prices because I saw this change just a little bit over the past 24 hours or so. So right now we're looking at $3.09 across the city of San Antonio, 1 cent less than the statewide average and obviously much less than the national average there for regular unleaded gas. So I did see this yesterday at about $3 at certain gas stations locations. So if you're going to head out anytime soon, make sure to fill up and try and find some of those $3 gas prices. There certainly are some places in town that definitely have that. All right, that's a quick check of traffic. Patty, Stephanie, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, RJ. Bexar County and San Antonio leaders have been preparing for hurricane season for months and encourage you to always have a plan for any major weather event. Well, today on GMSA at 9, we're showing you the Emergency Operations Center in Brooks, which is activated during hurricanes and other severe weather conditions. Leaders from different organizations and hospitals can better strategize and prepare for activations like during Hurricane Harvey, Laura, and Ida.
Say that an event happens and a hurricane enters the Gulf and it looks like we're going to receive some evacuees here. This place will fully become operational. Everyone that you can think of that may be impacted by or may be needed in those operations will come here, from the fire department, the police department, the sheriffs, all the hospitals.
This morning at 9 a.m., some important information you may not know about when it comes to flash flooding situations here in San Antonio. Texas officials urge Texans in coastal communities and visitors heading that way to have a plan ready for potential impacts. That said, we want to know, do you have a plan to visit the Texas coast this holiday weekend? You can vote on our poll on KSAT.com/poll, or you can scan the QR code right there on your screen and let us know where you are headed. Look, it looks like most of folks are headed to Galveston so far. Meanwhile, Hurricane Beryl continues to devastate countries in the Caribbean today.
As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, forecasters say the U.S. is likely to escape a direct hit at its current strength. However, there are other ways Beryl is affecting American travelers.
We're asking all Jamaicans here, tell your Jamaicans back home to prepare, take all the necessary precautions.
For the most part, it's not the U.S. enduring the impact of Hurricane Beryl.
Low flooding, medium slides in Grenada. For Carriacou, everything's leveled, no roof is standing.
But Americans are experiencing some effects.
Couldn't sleep last night because I don't know if I would be able to get out today. But it worked out fine.
A number of U.S. travelers are finding themselves in the hurricane's path. Cruise companies are rerouting some ships to avoid the dangerous weather. Other tourists are hunkering down or getting out.
So you're there on vacation?
For a couple of days.
So when you saw the headlines, what went through your mind?
Get out of there.
Meanwhile, experts predict Beryl could increase the cost of U.S. gas by 5 to 10 cents a gallon over the next week. That's because it might disrupt Gulf Coast oil refineries. Forecasters say Beryl could strike there in the coming days. It would likely be weaker by then, but officials are warning Texans they might eventually be in the storm's path. For now, it's other countries coping with that reality.
It is easier to be prepared when you're standing on your 2 feet than when you are in the midst of a hurricane.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Well, this morning, a convicted sex offender who was escorted into a city park by BCSO deputies is now being accused of violating the sex offender registry. Now, court records show that Xavier Lopez was arrested last month for failing to report to his home address. We first told you about Lopez back in May after KSAT Investigates revealed that he was let into Tom's Lake Park as deputies searched for a missing mother and her son. Lopez was part of a rehabilitation group that provides sports drinks and water to law enforcement at scenes. Now, the San Antonio Police Department investigators found out in March that Lopez was not living at the address he listed on the sex offender registration. A warrant for his arrest was issued in May.
A judge has denied a motion for a retrial for this woman right here. She was convicted of starving her 4-year-old stepson. Back in April, Casares was found guilty in the death of Benjamin Cervera and was sentenced to 25 years in prison. In court, the defense attorney told the judge important medical records were not given to him by the DA's office. On the other side, the state argued all records were available and the defense didn't do their job in looking for them.
And the city of San Antonio wants to put a 2-mile buffer zone around the Toyota plant. The zone would limit new development in the area to commercial and industrial use only. Now, the proposal is not popular with all of the people who live in that area. Some are worried about the potential impact on home property values. The buffer zone decision could happen on July 16th. The city is trying to sell neighbors on that idea. And last night, a community input meeting was held on the Texas A&M University campus.
I'm so very much against it, very much against it. It really restricts what I can do. I can't even build a separate home for one of my children to live on.
They are going to try to tell me what I can and cannot do with my property. And at the meeting today, they just said that Toyota owned their property, so they can do whatever they want with the expansion because they own their property. I own my property too.
Well, you can read more about Toyota's proposed buffer zone right now on our website at KSAT.com.
Time right now, 5:40, 79 degrees out there.
Well, if you're hitting the road this week for Independence Day celebrations, there will be some good news. We're going to tell you where the lowest gas prices are in San Antonio right now.
All right, taking a live look outside with our live cam. Look at that. Beautiful morning already. 79 degrees out there. A lot of people probably heading to the lake, to the ocean, somewhere outside of San Antonio. Oh, maybe they're coming into San Antonio. We're going to check in on what the road conditions are coming up.
Welcome back. It's 5:44. Well, in your consumer headlines, good news if you're planning to hit the roads this 4th of July holiday. The gas prices will be one thing worth celebrating. So according to AAA and Gas Buddy, the national average for a gallon of regular gas is about $3.50. That would make the price of the pump the cheapest it has been on Independence Day in 3 years. So here in San Antonio, we're paying anywhere from around $3 to $3.06. And Gas Buddy says the lowest priced in San Antonio is $2.73 at a Valero on Nacogdoches Road. So more than 60 million people are expected to drive to their destinations this year.
With Independence Day tomorrow, it's worth a reminder to be very careful with fireworks. Last year, nationwide, about 9,700 emergency room visits in the U.S. were due to injuries caused by fireworks. Part of the problem is with the fireworks themselves. Last year, about 20% of tested fireworks had faulty fuses or contained prohibited chemicals. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says teens 15 to 19-year-olds old accounted for the highest rate of those visits, followed by kids 5 to 9 years old. About 700 injuries were caused by sparklers.
Well, Paramount Studios is close to a merger deal with Skydance Media. Paramount is the parent company of CBS, MTV, and Nickelodeon. Skydance is the movie studio who helped produce the movie Top Gun Maverick. Now, if that merger is approved, the two media companies will become a new giant in Hollywood. Paramount has struggled with the decline of cable TV, and it's about $14 million in debt. Instead, the new company will be supported by big money investors from a private equity firm.
Time right now, 5:46, 79 degrees out there this Wednesday.
Let's look out there with Drive Cam and our Alex Gomez on the road right now. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of people there, so drive safely, Alex. We're going to check in with you in just a minute.
5:49 right now on your Wednesday morning as we get ready for 4th of July, the holiday coming up tomorrow. And we're taking a look real quick here. 281 southbound right here at St. Mary Street. We have a vehicle off to the side of the road on the shoulder here. It looks like the driver's actually out of the vehicle. So hopefully this individual is just kind of staying safe out here, side of the road. We're still seeing traffic move through here. But again, 281 can be very tricky with all those interesting sort of the depth perception and the curves out there, especially if you're headed out in the Pearl area. This is right there, literally the Pearl exit is the next one on the way. So let's go ahead and check in with photojournalist Alex Gomez right now, see how things are looking out there on his end. Alex, how are things looking?
Oh, they're looking good, RJ. Like you said, 4th of July tomorrow, but it seems like a lot of drivers might be taking the day off today because low traffic volume, maybe even on Friday as well. So it could be an easygoing week for us because right now I'm not seeing any issues and no reported accidents, RJ.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. Yeah, he's definitely been driving around the city of San Antonio, especially north side, northwest side. All right. As we mentioned, a lot of people are going to be hitting the road. So TxDOT went ahead and shared a little bit of information on when the heaviest congestion will be on some of our major corridors here in the San Antonio area. So basically, if you're headed out on I-10 right now, if you're going to be going east to Seguin, the Houston area, obviously the southeast part of the state, maybe headed to Galveston, as we saw from our poll earlier, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's going to be the busiest busiest time of the day for congestion if you're in the San Antonio area going to the Seguin area. If you're headed up to I-35, headed up to Austin, maybe Lake LBJ out there, or maybe headed out to the Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth, looking at some busy traffic between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock today. Now, we all know that 35, no matter what time of day or when it is, especially driving through Austin, can get very busy. So definitely make sure that you give yourself enough time to get to your 4th of July destinations.
Yeah, well, hopefully, less people will be on the road. You were going to say something?
Well, yeah, also all those roads around like Fiesta, Texas, when they shoot off the fireworks, they get all congested. So don't forget about that. People stake out their spots.
Yes. Also, Woodlawn. I was going to say also around Woodlawn. I was just looking on our website, like they have all the list of everything, all the fireworks going on, the different, there's Bernie and then Fredericksburg, of course, like we said, Woodlawn Lake and like at Fiesta, Texas. So we have options.
A lot going on here in town.
For sure.
Yeah, and the weather should be fine for fireworks, as we've been saying, no big deal there. And I want to show you a picture. This is from Oscar Skywatcher, who always sends in great photos. And this is from the dust last night, the Saharan dust. We mentioned that it makes for some beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Certainly did. It looks like the Saharan dust has let up a little bit. If it's something that bothers you, and for Oscar, he says, my sinuses are beyond grateful that it's letting up. We've got a bit of good news. Yes, it is letting up. I think we see a break today. Maybe tomorrow, but out ahead of Beryl, we're getting another round of dust that will try to move in on Friday. So it looks like Friday it may increase again some hazy skies. And then through the weekend, too, this is Sunday, shows another plume coming in right out ahead of that potential system. So just know that it's going to be around next several days. You look at the beach and bay forecast here. For today, 93 down there. The waves will be okay today and probably tomorrow. But you start getting into the weekend, again, with what's going on with Beryl, you're going to start to see the waves pick up. If you have plans to go to Port A this weekend or South Padre Island, we did our poll. A lot of people are headed to Galveston. Even there, you're going to want to watch for higher waves and some potential impacts along the Texas coast from this system, and that is Beryl, which right now isn't looking as good as it once did, but this is still a powerful hurricane. It's getting sheared. It's still a Cat 4, and it's going to move west towards Jamaica today, eventually the Yucatan. By Friday, crosses over into the Gulf of Mexico. Then it becomes a weaker, probably tropical storm before perhaps re-strengthening again and then taking a turn to the north towards northern Mexico or southern Texas. These are all possible scenarios. Notice that the real estate here at the end of the cone is still rather large. We're not going to focus on any one spot. But I will tell you, if you live in South Texas, anywhere from, say, Port Lavaca south to Brownsville, you want to pay very close attention to how this plays out. Again, Friday, it's over the Yucatan. Saturday, moves into the Gulf of Mexico. And Sunday and Monday, that's where the uncertainties kick in and how it will affect our weather here in San Antonio. Still a lot of questions there, but we have brought up rain chances Monday into Tuesday to account for any potential impacts from Beryl. Right now, we're near 80, and we'll see temperatures get up near 100 today, 100 tomorrow, 99 Friday, and look for those slight chances of rain Saturday, Sunday. A little better chance Monday into Tuesday, and temperatures, thankfully, come down. We'll be right back.
All right, tomorrow is 4th of July, and if you need to know where you can find the best spot for watching fireworks, we have you covered right here on KSAT.com. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen. From celebrations at the Pearl to San Marcos, Bernie, and Kerrville, we have convenient and complete lists available for you online right now. Up next on GMSA, we have heard all about the Spurs returning to a downtown area. What Mayor Ron Nirenberg has to say about where the city stands on this issue. And taking a live look outside at the road conditions. What a lucky day if you're heading out late today because there is no traffic. We're going to check in with Alex Gomez coming up in just a few minutes.